Hello and welcome to Life Beyond the Numbers, the podcast for those curious about creating a more fulfilling work life. Every business boils down to two basics, people and money. Here we focus on the human side. Numbers matter, but people matter most, and people drive performance. I'm Susan Nichriadon, your host, a coach, consultant, facilitator and author of Leading Beyond the Numbers. It brings me joy to speak to people and explore together how, although we share many similarities as humans, each of us navigates the world through our own unique lens. This adds intricacy to our interactions and contributes to both the depth and difficulties of interpersonal relationships. Join us for stories, strategies, and insights to help you lead your life beyond the numbers. Today I am delighted to be joined by Mari Giuseppe on Life Beyond the Numbers. Mari, you're so welcome.
Oh, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, Mari and I have done some CrossFit classes together, and I didn't know what Mari did. I mean, we never really know what our other classmates do we? We don't know anything about them. So I found out through Future Proof app, and you might remember that I spoke to James Shields a couple of weeks ago, and I'll put a link in the show notes to that. But I saw on Future Proof app some of the blogs that you've written, Mari, and the first one I read, I was just intrigued. You said, we don't eat nutrients, we eat stories.
Yeah.
And I am all about the stories. So tell me about what you mean.
Okay. Obviously, most of the people have like a long journey with food. And when we talk about food, people just say, oh, I want to lose some kilos because I get some weight. And then the first thing normally, I don't know about UK, but they may experience in Brazil, first thing we do is prescribe diets for the patient, lose weight. And then with the time, with the practice, I was just realizing that was not working. I prescribed so many diets and the patients just don't lose nothing. Or sometimes they just gain weight. It was very frustrating. And then I realized, I think something is wrong with this. And then I start to ask them, why you eat so much? What is happening? And then they, of course, we have so many stories, but personal story, I just look to myself. I came from a family, I'm from Brazil. And then in Brazil, we have a lot of vein, you know? We need to be pretty, we need to be thin, we need to be, excuse my French, we need to be hot.
Yes.
Yes. And literally, this is ideal what people have from Brazilians. And then we feel the pressure. And I'm not a usual thin woman. I'm curved, literally, my entire family. And with this, since my childhood, I just have problems with food. I used to have behavior like compulsion behavior and bulimic behavior just to trying to fit in a pattern, you know, because my friends were thin and I wasn't. So, and I realized that my problem was not the food. My problem was the story I tell to myself to be accepted or feel pretty. I need to be thin. I need to use like number 4, 6, 8, you know, for size. And I realized that's not just my problem, everyone problem, everyone. So it's not about nutrition.
Yeah. And it's so interesting because I think like what you're saying, they're your stories, but they're not even your stories because they were your culture's stories or your society's stories. So they're even a bigger story. And it's like that stereotype, isn't it? So for us in this part of the world, we all think of the Brazilians as like being, very tall and very beach bodies. Beach bodies, that's the idea.
Bikini body.
Yes, even bikini bodies, exactly, yeah. And I guess every culture has food stories.
Oh, yeah, I believe so. To be very honest, the only story I know, culturally speaking, is Brazil, because obviously I'm from there. But when I came in here in England, I never felt so free because I don't feel like pressure here. Maybe have pressure, but because I'm from a country have too much pressure, I just don't feel the pressure. Took me 10 years to use a short to go to the gym. 10 years, yes, because I feel like my legs have too much cellulite. So I'm not going to put a short because in Brazil, I'm going to include myself. We are mean. We do body shame in Brazil. So, and here I don't feel like people just use whatever they want. And here they don't care. And then I feel like, okay, so I can be a bit myself, maybe like allowed me to do things I didn't think I could. So, yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it? I'm not English either, so I don't know what the English culture around food is necessarily. But I would say that a lot of people are reluctant to wear shorts, or people get very concerned before going to the beach for the summer, for example.
Okay.
And certainly with social media,
So,
and I don't even almost want to go there, but it's completely changed how body is perceived.
oh, yeah. So, in the end of my course of dietetics in Brazil, my final test, I have done literally about social media and the image of our body, how have changed. Because in social media, people put so much information is not true. Because yes, you have a perfect belly, you have a perfect body on social media, but the truth is you have cellulites, you have marks on your body because you're a human being and it's normal and people just don't share that. Or they just say, oh, I lost 10 kilos just doing this diet. No, you're starving. That's the truth. You can't lose that amount of weight in like 3 months without starving. Or you're sick. Like just have this explanation. And I feel like social media blind people and they just lost the sense. Like you should think, like, you really think this is true? You really think this person is healthy? Or if that routine is because sometimes half people they can achieve a perfect body, but then they do too much cardio, too much exercise, but the life they have, they can do that. You have free time, you can do it. I work 8 hours a day. I have a house to look after. I need to study. I need to give attention to my family. Even online, I need to give attention to them. I have a cat. I need to look after my cat. I don't have time. I just have 1 hour a day to exercise and that's it. So I'm not going to achieve the body having social media because it's not my reality.
I suppose what I wonder is, what do we get by achieving that body on social media? What difference does it make to our life? Because I often hear people say, if I only lost a couple of pounds, I would feel this or I would feel that. If I was 5 kilos lighter, I would be whatever. We have this association that weight somehow, or more weight or less weight, will change who we are as a person.
I think what they are looking for achievement is more a sense of like feeling they are part of something, they are accept. Because oh my god, all like I was when I was a teenager, all my friends are thin and I'm not, so I didn't feel part of that group. So I think what people look for it is not even like they don't question themselves like why I really want this to feel I'm part of something. You should pay more attention in your self-esteem, like be reasonable with yourself, because if you put yourself in that kind of an environment, like the mental health is not going well, so you need to look to yourself and ask, do I love myself? Like do I really love myself? Why I'm doing this to myself?
Yeah. And I'm not sure how many people ask that question, Mari. And it's not a question that we've been encouraged to ask either, perhaps. And I read something not so long ago about, I think it was somewhere in the US, where people were going to like a weight loss camp. So it was all about getting back into good body shape, blah, blah, blah. And they were studying it as well. And like you were saying, it came down to stories. And when they understood why people didn't lose weight, even though they came to this camp and they did the work and blah, 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 they started to ask people what in their life triggered the eating. And for a lot of, I won't say a lot because I can't remember the percentage, but what they were talking about was people had suffered trauma in their childhood, and that trauma triggered them eating. And then they continued to eat because that brought comfort, or they didn't like themselves. And so they continued to eat so other people wouldn't like them either. And I thought it was so fascinating and relates to what you say as well about the stories.
Yeah, because I don't remember where I have read that, but if you Google it, you can find as well about the traumas. People, for example, have suffer with sexual abuse when they are young. Normally, not normally, I can't say normally, but what I have read about it was when a person have passed with this kind of trauma, not normally. Well, I'm going to use normally because I don't have much vocabulary, but normally they end up like getting a lot of weight because they don't want to look in a stereotype, to not get that situation again, to not be abused again. So it's common. I have, unfortunately, in my practice, I have heard some stories, and the person, you need to work in that trauma to make that person understand it's not her fault. Doesn't matter. Unfortunately, in the world we are, it's not her fault that happened. Doesn't matter if she is with a lot of weight or less weight. Doesn't matter, unfortunately. So we need to work on that. And I really appreciate when professionals, my colleagues, before they look the patient like a weight, like a number, they look a patient like a person and ask, okay, you get a lot of weight. Why? What happened? What is happening in your life? Tell me. Not like ask me, oh, you're eating a lot of McDonald's. Fine, you can't eat anymore. You can't say that. Really? Something bothers me.
They already know that also, don't they? Yeah.
Everyone knows.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something bothers me, for example. In Brazil, we have a type of sausage. Probably we have here, but I have no idea the name. But what I have heard, the quality of this kind of sausage in here is much better. In Brazil, people say a very bad quality. It's true. Very bad quality. But represents something from our childhood. When we used to have like parties, like birthday parties, and the mom make like a very, very big thing with this kind of sausage. We made hot dog. So the sausage, we make hot dog. In Brazil, we put sauce, corn, so many things. And we eat like, this is represents like our childhood, like when it's not that tasty. The taste is not very nice. I don't like it that much. But when I eat, I remember home. I remember my mom, my brother, my father. And then you're going to say to the patient, like, no, you can't eat. No, because this is going to make you put more weight on. Really? You're really going to say that?
It's different if you're going to eat it like 3 times a day, every day for the rest of your life. But if it's something that you eat on occasion,
yeah. I swear.
Yeah.
It's not going to change even like this.
Yeah.
Your blood test, nothing.
I love what you said about the number on a scale, because that they actually look at the person, which is my whole ethos about beyond the numbers, leading and life. It's about looking beyond the numbers and seeing the people. And it's interesting that people might see themselves as a number on a weighing scale. And that's a hard identity, I think, to carry around, especially if it's not the number you want it to be.
Oh, yeah. Exactly, because then comes with rejection as well. You reject yourself just because you're not that number you think you should be.
Guilt.
And oh yes, the guilt. Jesus.
Yeah.
It's a nasty emotion to feel guilt, because what good they bring to you, the guilt. Guilt is something so tiny to feel, because guilt is not going to put you anywhere. But it's okay if you don't like the number is that. I'm not saying you, oh, I need to accept myself the way I am. If you don't accept yourself in the way you are, okay, but let's work on that. You can't hate yourself and try to change you. When we talk about loving yourself behind the number you see on the scale, it's because to make something good for yourself, you need to love yourself, because who hates don't do any good. Don't do any good. So you need to learn how to love yourself and understand you in a process, because it's going to take time. I'm in a process to understand my feelings about food and stuff for more than 4 years. And I'm still learning. Oh my God, I'm a baby on this. I have professionals. I have people who are 10, 20, 15 years. And they are still saying like, no, sometimes catch me. Who is me? 4 years. And you are trying to change your habits with 1 month and you want everything. We need to love ourselves in this point. I'm not saying to accept the number there if you don't like it. It's not about that. It's okay. But how much hate are you putting in that number and saying, no, I'm not going to be enough if I'm not this number or that number?
Absolutely, absolutely. And also, if our focus is on that number, then it's very hard to move from that number also, because no matter where we put our focus, I think that's where our energy goes.
Yeah, because when you are so frustrated with something, angry or whatever, you get stressed. We have the hormone for stress, is cortisol. And then with the cortisol, you can't do anything because it's cortisol. You know, like everyone talk about cortisol. So if you get stressed, you're going to have cortisol, and then you're going to have difficulty to sleep, going to have difficulty to lose weight. So it's because that we work so much about love, because the love, I'm very sentimental, but love is something that's going to put your cortisol down, because you're going to be in peace, you're going to be okay, and you're going to understand things take time. It's not like an internet. In 1 month, you're going to be ready. Oh my God, I wish.
30 days to the perfect beach body.
Oh, Jesus. Is that what frustrated me as well? Do you think if that was possible, 30 days, perfect body, do you think it was possible? Everyone would be doing. But everyone was failing, is failing so badly. Everyone is failing.
And that's going to make you feel worse.
Exactly. And then come the guilt.
And then comes the eating again, perhaps, because that makes you feel better. And so it's a cycle. So how do people respond to you when they come for nutrition advice or dietary advice, and you explain to them or suggest to them that there's a cause in your life or something in your life or a story you tell yourself? How do people react to that and take it on board?
It's a very complicated
I bet. Yeah.
Because I'm literally going against what everyone says. And I have a few professionals who work like me. Like, I swear, I just know two of my, for example, my class. We are in, I think, 30. I don't remember how many we are in my class, but and on my class, no one was in the same path as me. And then when I tell people, even my colleagues, my professional colleagues, they just say, how are you going to work with that? So it's very complicated to explain to people that, because we have too much disinformation about how to lose weight, how to do it, how to maintain the loss. You can make a diet for the patient to the patient lose weight, but you can't make the patient maintain, because you're starving the patient. So obviously the body's going to respond. So most of the time when I present that my cause to the patients is when the patient are desperate and they have no one else to go again. So they look at me and say, you are my last chance. And unfortunately, I have a very bad experience with one of my patients. She was so desperate to lose weight. And I told her, look, you're not going to lose weight if you keep desperate, and it's going to take time. So I need you to understand that, because we're going to work together, the traumas and stuff, but the body is going to take time to heal, and then you're going to lose weight. And normally I give 10 sessions. And this time I told her, you need 10 sessions as well, because normally some patients just need shorter, but in her case, was needed 10 sessions. She made 4, and then she started cancel. And then she, very young, I think my age at the time, 25, she ended up doing bariatric surgery for no reason. I swear she didn't match the requirements to do a bariatric surgery, just because she wants so badly be thin, like in Brazil we need to be.
Yeah.
So it's not very easy to go through with my idea of what is really healthy, especially in school, okay, in university, because I have a very bad story about that as well. I can tell you if you want.
Please go ahead. Tell us, because they help the understanding.
Yeah, so back then I have a professor at the university. And then when I was there, I was desperate, because the reason I choose dietetics was not for this reason I am right now. It's because I was overweight and I was like, I want to lose weight and I don't understand how to do. So, and then I find out about dietetics. I say, I'm going to do dietetics. I'm going to learn how to lose weight. So I was so desperate to lose weight, because imagine I was overweight doing dietetics. And obviously that was not the look what people are waiting for, like to go to see a dietitian, they expect someone thin. So I was not. So I was a bit desperate. And then I go to talk with one of my professor, very respected professor. And I told her like, oh, I want to lose weight, but I don't know what to do anymore. And she say, okay, I'm going to send you for a doctor. And the doctor is going to give you some medications to help you. I said, fine, okay. So I went to the doctor. He prescribed me so much medication. I swear it was like too expensive. And at the time I didn't know. And then I take all the medications he gives to me. I lose a lot of weight, but then with that, I start to get sick. A burn on my stomach never ends. Everything I eat make me sick. And I have an injection, the famous injection. I have taken, and I didn't know. I became so thin. My father come to talk with me and say, I need you to stop with this because you're too thin and you just have like 2 months going to this doctor. I don't know how much I lost that time. And I was like, okay, my father intervened in me. He said, no, absolutely not. You're not going to do this anymore. It's enough. Now, 3-4 years later or more, I think, I look back and say, oh my God, a respected professor gave me this advice. And she's very respected. And I was like, oh my God, what people are doing with other people. Like, it's not her fault, because I asked and I go through because I was disinformed. Literally, I didn't even know what I was taking. So we pay a very high price just to follow a number and a scale, just to follow a pattern or a stereotype.
We really can. And also, I think what you say about the disinformation, that even amongst people who are teaching, the linkages is still there, that if you follow this diet, this will happen. If you can't do that, then we'll give you drugs. So we'll force it to happen or something, rather than the underlying causes. And it's maybe sometimes it is a health issue. Maybe it's not related to a story.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
it's also about understanding the person.
Exactly. Because my problem was I was depressed and anxious. What I need was therapy. And I have done therapy for long years. I have done therapy for 11 years. Depression and anxiety. So I just needed therapy, a bit more intensive therapy,
Yeah.
So she could ask, like that's what's frustrating me, because you see the person like a number. Okay, you want to lose weight? Do this. No, ask me why you put some weight. What happened? Are you something changed in your life? Are you passing for some stress? For example, I came to England by myself, just me and my cat. And I lost so much weight when I got here. I thought I was so healthy. I even shared my social media. No, it was a stress. I lost weight because I was stressed. And I didn't know, I didn't saw. And I am in the field, I study, I know. But because I lost so much weight, I was like, oh, this is my progress, my work. No, I was stressed. So
England is
stressed.
good for me.
With my mom. I say, Mom, England's so good for me. I lost so much weight. And she looked at me and say, you really think it's that? And say, of course it is. And say, oh, really? And then my mom started to ask some questions, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so stressed. Because even study so much, my brain becomes more clever. So it's not that easy to trick me anymore. So my brain become a bit clever. So I like to say that to patients. The talk my brain do with me, I say we have an angel and a devil, say they are already talking. They become so good to convince me on things, and I need to be very clever to catch them. So I just didn't realize I lost weight. I was doing exercise and stuff, but I was sleeping 5 hours a day. I was eating very poorly because when I came here, I was doing portering. So I walk more than 22,000 of steps. So obviously, I lost weight, obviously. So, well, sometimes we just think we are doing the right thing.
And it's interesting what you say about the brain. And that's part of the problem with why we eat as well, isn't it? Because our brain is reinforcing those stories. Our brain has the version of the story that keeps us stuck in the story or the habit. And
Yeah,
once upon a time, it was a protection, but it's now
yeah.
out of date. So, because it's always looking out for you too, it may be a devil, but it's a cheeky kind of devil.
Yeah, it's just, well, in cognitive science, correct me if I'm saying wrong, because I'm literally saying it in the way we're supposed to be in Portuguese and I'm just translating. So, in science cognitive or cognitive science, we study about the patterns of the brain. So basically, we have a, let's say like that, we have a path in our brain, a path we always follow since we are born. And this path was created when we are young, because it's like the patterns in our brain are created. And then when we are young, we don't have maturity, obviously, because we are a toddler or a child, or, well, anyway. So it's a path created when we are a toddler. And then this path is stay there forever. It's not going to be rebooted. It's going to be improved. So obviously, when you eat, for example, you sad and then you eat is a pattern your brain know. When you sad, you eat and then you feel happiness. But after the happiness, you feel guilt. And then what the brain do? I want happiness again, so eat more. And then it's a cycle, never finish. And then when you start to understand that, you say, okay, what else I can do to feel happiness? Oh, I can go to the gym. I can do CrossFit. I can go to the pub with my friends. I can stay with my cat, take a very good shower, long shower in a very hot shower. I don't know. People can see or feel or try to explore what they're going to do to make them happy. But if you're so stressed, so drained of energy, so tired, the first thing your brain is going to give to you to feel happiness is go eat something you want, because you're tired and your brain don't want to think in different patterns, because this one is already there.
Absolutely.
Yes, so it's
Yeah.
so interesting.
It is, and it's that, yeah, it's the neuroplasticity, isn't it? I say it's like a ski slope, because once you get on it, it's just like whoosh, there's no getting off, and it's stopping yourself before you get down, which is what you said about it's listening to those stories and recognizing, just bringing the awareness, and then you can help change the story.
Exactly.
So the kind of common advice to people is just eat healthily or just exercise. So what does it mean to eat healthily, Mari?
I don't like to put labels on food, because we are a very big world and we have very different types of what is healthy. So especially me being here, because before I just have Brazilian, but then here we have everything: Indian, Polish, Albanians, everything. And so I can't say, oh, if you eat lettuce, avocado, salmon every day, you're going to be very healthy. Oh, for fuck's sake. I'm sorry. Oh my God.
That's okay. That's okay. You can swear. It's okay.
But because really make me very angry. Oh my God, I swear, when I see in the contents on Instagram, like avocado with lettuce and salmon, oh, this is what you need to eat. Oh my God, really? Jesus, poor thing. So I think it's more about how you feel about the food. I'm not saying you can eat KFC every single day. You can, but you want to pay the price because have a price. Everything in life have a price. So that depends what price you want to pay. The truth is, obviously, if you eat more fruits, nuts, vegetables, carbohydrates, doesn't matter which one, I swear, you can eat bread, rice, pasta, you'll be fine. Everything's about balance. So everything's about balance. You can have sweet every day if you want, but that depends how much do you eat, you know? And if you're eating too much, why? What is the reason are you eating too much of this food? Because I do understand food come with a story as well. Like I say about the story of the hot dog in my family. But food is still just food. The only reason to you eat is to give your body energy. That's it. That's the truth. So healthy food is more about literally what do you like to eat and how you can improve that meal. That is something I'm very good at. So I'm going to tell a very, very, very secret of mine. I hate vegetables. I'm a dietitian and I hate vegetables. But I eat vegetables every single day because I learn I'm an adult, I'm not a toddler, and I know I need to eat. So I just make myself creative at the kitchen. So I make sauce with aubergine, I make sauce with them. I literally I cook so much in a point, you need to smash it and then become a sauce. And for me, it's a pasta bolognese. I put some tomato sauce, it's pasta with bolognese sauce. So you need to become creative. And I don't like to label food. Everything is so depends on the context. It's healthy, for example. I don't like McDonald's. I like the taste, but I have a memory with McDonald's. So sometimes, very often, I like to eat because I remember my childhood with my mom. It was something me and my mom always do, So healthy it's about how you feel about that, to be very honest, to analyze yourself.
And I think the how you feel, like you say, is the energy as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
That actually that your life feels more in balance because yes, you're sleeping and you're getting outdoors and you're doing exercise, you're doing all of those things. But the food is also fueling that, not taking it away, not disabling you almost from doing things.
Exactly. Because
Yeah.
imagine you not being, I hate that, but I have some friends do that. Oh, I can't go out because I can't eat that. So your way of seeing food like healthy or unhealthy don't allow you to go out with your friends, for example. So it is about balance because you can have pasta every day if you want. You can eat bread every day if you want. You can eat sweets every day if you want. But everything is about balance. I'm not saying to put every time in a scale and say, oh, I'm eating this much. It's not that, because to be very honest, I don't do that. I have done and it stressed me out. So I just give up, so how you feel about, do you want to eat pasta? Okay. And how you can improve the pasta? Oh, you can put some veggie. Oh, I don't like vegetables. I don't like as well. And I do my thing. We need to understand as well, we are adults and adults need to do adult things, That's the truth.
Oh, I wish this is probably the quote of the of all podcasts put together. And it's so true, isn't it? But Mary, if adults did adult things, the world would just work.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Imagine. Oh, Jesus, please.
But it's also that comes back to our culture, our upbringing, the work we are in, the demands on us. Like I live 5 minutes from Waitrose, not even 5 minutes from a huge Waitrose supermarket here in the UK, and it is just so easy to kind of go, oh, I can't be bothered cooking. I'll just go to
Yeah,
Waitrose. Now, that's not normally what I do. Of course, I've done it and I'll do it again. But I think there's a convenience around
yeah,
food has become so convenient as opposed to nourishment.
yeah. This is absolutely true. I work for NHS, and I think people work for a lot. Just saying, I really loved my work. I do, but I train to observe people and the behaves. And what I see from NHS staff is they are exhausted, very exhausted. So what they do, they just don't have time to look after themselves. So they eat very poorly, like they just buy something from, I think it's M&S, and they just don't look after themselves. They don't sleep very good because they do night shift as well. I'm talking about the nurses and the doctors, because I think they are not just them, but like a lot of people, even the porters. Do you know the porters, they work 7 days nighttime on a roll? Do you know how unhealthy is that? I didn't even know it was allowed. Anyway, so imagine these people, they just don't want to go out to go to the gym. They just don't want to bother to cook. They will go to the shop and eat something because it's much more easy. I have as well a shop in the corner. Sometimes I say, oh my God, I'm so stressed. Say, I'm going to go there and I'm going to buy all the chocolates I can. I'm going to eat all of them because I'm stressed. And then I'm going to feel guilt. So, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to try to relax, to chill. I'm going to try.
I believe you. I believe you. Yeah, absolutely. But I suppose there's so much advice, Mari, and like we've
Oh,
talked
yes.
about, there is disinformation. There's
Yeah.
also the pictures that just reel us in.
Yeah.
So if you were to offer people a way of designing their lifestyle or discovering a lifestyle that is optimal for them, for their body shape, type, health, age, whatever, how where do they go to start doing that or understanding it?
To be very honest, this is so hard because the internet now is a blast and it's not. You have too much information and disinformation, like you said. So the first thing is to look yourself, because you are the best person to know what is good for you. That's the truth. Because okay, I can pretend like, oh, my life is amazing. I have time for everything. I don't. I don't have time for nothing. Oh my God, I have message I don't answer for more than 2 weeks, and I'm ashamed to answer now because I already passed 2 weeks. So I don't have time. So we need to be realistic with ourselves. So the first thing, be realistic. And when you are looking in the internet for something, try to research that person. Try to research and see if this person, it is something, or this is like an influencer. She has a degree. Well, sometimes they have a degree, and Jesus Christ. But for example, Future Proof, I think, is a very good app to people like subscribe and then receive the articles, because in there, James is great. So he's putting people that is really going to give you good advice. That's the truth. So the question is like, no, I'm going like this to China to answer your question, but to design a good routine for you, to design something worth it for you, is literally that. Ask yourself, what is real for me? Because I have a time in my life, I just have 30 minutes to do workout and work for me. Sometimes we just have 30 minutes 2 days in a week. And that's fine. That's okay. It's not because you're not doing 7 days, waking up 4 in the morning. Jesus Christ, who wake up 4 in the morning to do something? Like maybe this is not your reality, because you work like 7 and then you need to come home, shower, eat, go sleep 11, and you're going to wake up 4. No, this is not real. So what is work for you? Be honest with yourself. For no one else, just with you. Be honest. What I can do for myself. And slowly steps, because people want to do everything. No, slowly. Choose one. One. Oh, I want less sugar, or I want to drink more water, or I want to sleep better. We sleep better, I think, is something we need to work on. It. It's difficult because we're too stressed, but we can do. Just choose one, sort it out this one, and then you go for the second one. You know, life is short, but not that short. We're not going to finish in 3 months. Please not. So we have time.
Absolutely. And I suppose there's, like what you say, people want to do everything. And it, often people start a new exercise routine, for example, and they decide they sign up for a marathon or a triathlon. Or like that I'm going to lose 5 stone or 25 kilos by next week or whatever. Is that we set huge goals
Yeah,
that are often demotivating rather than
exactly.
motivating.
Exactly. It's something I work very hard with my patients. And when someone becomes my patient, they never stop to be my patient, because normally when I finish the 10 sections, I have a check on them in 6 months. And after that, every year I check on them just to see how it's going, because we are people and we are meant to be to come back to old patterns is normal. And I have a very special patient, my first patient, my successful case. It's she has this behave to always put very high goals. So that is very important to be reasonable, because you can't lose like 25 kilos and not even in 3 months. Just if you're sick. If you're not going to lose it. And if you do manage to do that, I don't want to even know what you have done, because the damage is too extent. So we need to be reasonable. We need to think like what I can do, what is reality. Because like I say, social media it's a blast, right? To not say the contrary, because they put some goals that you just can't achieve. You can't, because life is happening. And then it's going to happen things you can't control. It's normal. I have put a goal for me this year to work out more. 5 days in, I put 7 days in a week. And this year, it's completely a mess. I'm changing jobs, I'm moving house. Oh my God, so many things happen. And I'm barely managing 4 days in a week. And I was being harsh with myself. And I thought and say, what I'm doing, okay, that's fine. At least I go 4. I could be not even doing, because I'm too tired. I'm too stressed, so I'm not going to go. So we need to be realistic. We need to put goals we're going to be able to achieve.
And I think what you're saying as well about honesty and the love and the respect for yourself, because we do speak to ourselves more harshly than we would hopefully anyone else in the world, because yeah. And actually having a relationship with that is really important as well. And I think the word love comes so loaded for people that it's often a barrier. And I was listening to a podcast recently where the guy talked about shades of love. And I thought it was a lovely way to think about it. So if you think about compassion, and you mentioned peace, kindness, appreciation, gratefulness, all of these are types or shades or layers, whatever, of love. And find a word. This is what I always think, find something that works for you. So if one of those words works for you, then use it.
Exactly. Yeah, because unfortunately, love becomes something so random these days, and superficial,
Yeah. Well, we
So
can love our books and we can love our phones, but
exactly.
it doesn't mean the same as the love of another person or the love of yourself.
Exactly. And that, I think people just miss the point. I know sounds so like everyone say that, but yeah, love is the base. Because if you don't love yourself, you're not going to make any good change. Because like I say, in a hate, nothing becomes good. Because it's hate. What are you going to do with hate? So yeah, love yourself, respect yourself, be kind with yourself. Find a word, like you say, what makes you feel comfortable, and do it. Because if you just start loving yourself, my God, you're going to sort it out 80% of your problem. I swear.
Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? Is that all of this is really, really, really simple. It just doesn't mean that it's easy.
It's not. I have done 11 years of therapy. I still learning how to love myself.
And something that's not easy is also worth doing.
Oh yeah, exactly. Because the truth is, we are here to learn. We're not here in this earth because we didn't came here like knowing everything. And I'm 28. I don't know nothing. Oh my God, I don't know nothing. My mom have 45. She say to me, I don't know nothing. If my mom have 45, she don't know nothing. Imagine me, 28. Imagine someone with 20s, even with 60s. You see people learning. So we're never going to know everything. And it's always going to show up some challenge in our lives to show us, I don't think you love yourself that much, but you are so good at it now. And you are becoming, because love is something you always going to be learning. Because, okay, you learn how to love yourself. And now you need to learn how to love the other person. And then life change, and then you become another person, and then you need to love that other version of yourself. So, oh my God, people just put too much pressure on themselves, included me.
We all do. And look,
Exactly.
it's the nature of who we are, and it's part of our conditioning and everything. It's the awareness that you are in charge. You may not be in control.
Well,
But
we
you
try.
have more say if you're aware. And I think that's what you're really speaking to as well today is demonstrating that the awareness helps us to look after ourselves better.
Of course.
Even when
Definitely.
life is throwing stuff at us, because it will.
Exactly. Because if you don't know yourself, imagine you're copying someone's behavior. You don't know yourself, you're copying. And then life come with so many things, you don't know what to do because you're copying, so you don't know yourself. At least when you know yourself, life is throwing things in you and you say, I need to breathe. I need a break. Because it's what happened. You can think the first thing, I'm going to buy all the chocolates I want and I'm going to eat all of them. You can think that. It's fine. I do. Oh my God, I do. I think, oh my God, I want to eat all the chocolates in the world. And then I think that and say, fine, but it's not going to sort it out. What I need to do. So I need some time off. I need a break. I need meditation. I need CrossFit. I choose what I need. And if in the end you still want the chocolate, you will see when you have this awareness about yourself, you will see the amount of chocolate is going to be so much less. You can end up eating the chocolate, but you're not going to eat like 5, 4, 10 chocolates. You're going to eat like a piece of chocolate and be in peace with that.
Amazing. We are absolutely out of time and we're coming up to the end of the conversation. Mari, if people would like to know more about you and what you're talking about today, do they have a way of connecting with you?
So I use my Instagram, but I'm Brazilian. My Instagram is in Portuguese. So I'm going to be writing articles for Future Proof, so you can subscribe that and have that. I'm not saying I'm never going to do content in English. It's not that. It's just because literally 100% of my content on Instagram is from Brazil or Portugal. So, and I'm not that big, but LinkedIn, I'm going to start using. So in that probably is going to have more information in English, definitely, because in Brazil, I'm not quite sure, but I don't feel like they use that much. So LinkedIn will be the best approach, but for now, Future Proof app will be the best one.
Absolutely. And you've already contributed 3 articles and they've all been well worth reading. So definitely Future Proof is the place to go. And I'll put the details in the show notes. Thank you so much for such a heartwarming, joyful conversation, Mari.
It was a pleasure to be here and I really appreciate the invitation and I'm always open for another one.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me today on Life Beyond the Numbers. If something in this episode resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you've enjoyed this conversation, please take a moment to leave a review. It helps others like us discover this podcast and join in our conversation. Until next time, keep exploring the human side of work life.